At the end of 3.5 innings, Baltimore 3, New York nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, what minute is
Pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network. Kurt Gowdy with Lindsey Nelson and Tony Kubek. Don Clendenin in the last of the 4th inning for the Mets. He walked his first time. McNally drops the curve to him for a strike. Ron Swoboda's on deck, and then Ed Charles. Strike 2. Clendenin's the busiest batter in the series at the plate. Watch him now. He's wiggling and waggling. The 2-strike pitch. Fastball. 1-2. Strikeouts for Dave McNally.
right fielder?
Clendenin wasn't too happy with the call.
Swoboda, number 4.
McNally walked 2 in the first, had 3 3-2 counts. Now seems to be pitching himself into some control. 1 out, nobody on. Swoboda struck out his first time. Nothing a 1 to him. Ed Charles will be up next. Strike 2. One out, nobody on. One and 2. Base it up the middle. McNally ahead on the count, came right in there with a fastball to him. That's the second hit for the Mets.
Third baseman.
And the batter's Ed Charles, who grounded out to third his first time. Orioles have had 4 hits. The Mets have had 2 hits. Gave him a curve. Nothing a 1 to Charles. Swoboda at first. Stole only 1 base all year. 1-1. Baltimore's ahead 3-0. The Mets are batting here in the last of the 4th. Jerry Grody due up next. High pop foul. That's your burn. 2 down. You won't handle many higher foul pops than that one.
Catcher, Jerry Grody.
So we have 2 away for the
Number
Mets.
15.
Swoboda at first and Jerry Grody the catcher up. Fly to center in a second. Jerry Grody. Two away, Ron Swoboda at first. 1-1 pitch. Hit hard to Belanger. Big hop. He'll down in the stands again to Tony.
Thank you. With me, one of the great baseball fans in the world, Toots Shore. And Toots, I know you're a Giant fan and a Willie Mays fan, but who are you pulling for in this series?
The hometown, the Mets I'm pulling for, because it's our hometown. The only one other town I'd root for would be San Francisco.
They can't do anything wrong, can they?
No, they can't, and Gil's doing a great job. Hodges, I think, is doing the best job of handling his men and running a baseball team as good as any man I've ever known in my life.
Toots Shore, thank you very much. Let's go back upstairs.
Mark Belanger takes ball one. He looped a single to right, then came in to score on McNally's homer in the third. Dave McNally will be up next. 1-1. There's the slugger. Belanger was a great basketball player at Pittsfield, Massachusetts High School. Fouled out of play. He has those loose actions in the field that you could tell he must have been quite a basketball player. 1-2 pitch to him. Fly ball to right. Swoboda right there for it, and there's one down. Dave McNally.
Pitcher.
Homered his first time.
McNally. Number 19.
There's that professional sign artist. He must be exhausted at the end of the year. He paints 60 signs for every game he comes out. He has a file system. Nothing at one. One out, nobody on. Strike two to McNally. The Orioles are leading 3-0 in the top of the fifth inning. $57,397 has been announced as the paid attendance. Struck him out on 3 pitches. 2 down. Jerry Koosman,
Left fielder.
was tough here at Shea Stadium this year, winning 9 and losing 3.
Number 9.
He was runner-up in his rookie year last year to Johnny Bench of the Reds as Rookie of the Year. He missed 40 or nearly a month this season with he called it a numb shoulder, didn't he, Lindsay? It's just a stiff, numb shoulder.
It was a muscle underneath the shoulder there. They had a little trouble diagnosing it for a while.
He missed a month and still won 17 games this year. Don Buford looks at that fastball for a strike. Buford twice has grounded to short. The Orioles have 2 down, nobody on, and they have Paul Blair on deck. Outside. 1-1 to Buford. Harrelson playing in a step or two on him, and Ed Charles even with a bag of third. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Don Buford. The lights are on here. It's getting darker. Overcast over Shea Stadium. Curve is hit into right center. That ball is cut by Ron Swoboda.
There is Ron Swoboda now moving over into right center and backhanding the ball into the glove in full flight for the out that retired the side.
Well, the Orioles are out 1-2-3 in the top of the 5th at the end of 4.5 innings. It's Baltimore 3 and New York nothing.
I vote him the greatest living defensive right fielder of all time.
Play the New York broadcaster Lindsey Nelson.
Thank you very much, Kurt Gowdy, and hello again, everybody. Al Weiss takes a pitch low for ball 1. Weiss has had 4 hits in this World Series. Today he's been up 1 time and lined out to Mark Belanger at shortstop. In there for a called strike, 1-1. Dave McNally had a shaky start today. Walked 2 men in the first inning. There was action in the Baltimore bullpen, but he has settled down now to the McNally that the Oriole fans know and love. Here's a swing and a miss. It's 1-2. And he has been posted to a 3-run lead. He hit a 2-run home run, and Frank Robinson hit 1. That's Jerry Kuzman on deck now for the Mets, who have been unable to get anything started of substance against McNally. Here's a foul ball. It's 1-2. McNally has struck out 4, and he's walked 2. Those 2 walks in the very first inning. Trying to bring Baltimore home ahead to take this series back to Baltimore for game number 6 of the 1969 World Series, which would be scheduled for Saturday. Foul ball backing out of play, and the count holds at 1-2 to Al Weiss. Al Weiss in his major league career has had 6 home runs. 1 of them was off Dave McNally. He hit 2 of those 6 at Wrigley Field in Chicago against the Cubs in a crucial series earlier this year. Ground ball to third. Big hop up to Brooks Robinson. Guns it across to Powell in time, and Weiss is out. 1 away, and Jerry Kuzman peels off the jacket. He lifts a double down the left field line in the 3rd inning. He is not known for his prowess with the bat. The Mets are batting here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. They've had only 2 hits off Dave McNally. A double by Kuzman, a single by Ron Swoboda. Foul ball backing out of play for strike 1. That's in for a called strike. The Mets with their predominantly right-hand batting order here this afternoon against the left-hander. It is the batting order that produced 1 run in the first game of the World Series and 2 to get a win over McNally in the second game last Sunday. Yesterday, it was the right-hand batting order that produced the 2 runs to get a 2-1 win in 10 innings. Tommy Agee's on deck. Just missed outside. It's 1-2. It was the Mets' left-hand batting order that swept the 3 games from the Atlanta Braves to win the National League pennant for the Mets. And it was their left-hand batting order that scored 5 runs in game number 3 here in the 5-0 win. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 5 for Dave McNally. Two Mets are out in the fifth inning, and Tommy Agee is coming up.
Center fielder, Tommy Agee.
Agee walked, stole second in the first inning. He flied out to center field in the third. He was the big hero of the Met victory in the third game of the World Series here, day before yesterday. Punts the ball up the third baseline. Let's watch Robinson play it. He overruns it with a bare hand stab, and Agee is on. Robinson made the bare hand stab and came up empty.
One of the first time Robinson hasn't handled this ball. Looked like it took a hop as he reached down with a bare hand. Watch it here. Right over the top of his hand. He would have had to make some play to get Agee anyway.
It is scored as a base hit, the third for the Mets. There are two men out, and Bud Harrelson's up. Switch hitter batting right. Fly ball to center field, and Paul Blair has it lined up. So the side is out. The Mets with no runs, a hit, no errors, and one man left at the end of 5 full innings of play. The score is the Orioles 3 and the Mets nothing. We pause now for station identification.
Center fielder, Paul Blair. Number 6.
And Nancy Seaver, Tom's wife, is the subject of that banner. This is Lindsey Nelson with Kurt Gowdy and Tony Kubek at Shea Stadium in New York. Game number 5 of the 1969 World Series. The Orioles are up in the 6th inning, leading 3-0. Guzman's pitch to Blair is low for a ball. Blair flied to center and struck out swinging. That's high and away for a ball. Perhaps you recall yesterday seeing Tom Seaver walk back to second base umpire Lee Wire at one point, and then the ball was thrown out of play. We were talking to Tom about that before the ball game today. There's a swing and a drive deep center field, way back, and Agee retreats and one hands the ball, turning around. Tommy Agee.
Looks like he nearly turns the wrong way on this one.
Right fielder,
Now he has to spin around.
Robinson. Number 20.
Another one-hander by Tom Agee.
Some kind of outfield play here in this World Series. There's one man out, and Frank Robinson is up. He lined to right field in the first inning, and he homered a long home run to left center in the third. Swinging a foul ball back. Tom Seaver said that yesterday he looked down at the ball and discovered it was an American League ball. So he walked back to the umpire and said, "Do I have to use this?" And he said no. So they exchanged it. He said there wasn't much difference, maybe no difference, but he was surprised to find that it was an American League ball, and he didn't know how it got in there. Here's a pitch in for a strike. It's 2 strikes now to Robinson.
Joe Cronin's signature on one and Warren Giles on the other one.
That's it. Boog Powell is on deck. And Robinson is hit by the... No, it's a foul ball. It's a foul ball, says Lou DeMuro. And now Earl Weaver is out. Earl Weaver is out there again. The umpire is Lou DeMuro of the American League. DeMuro called it a foul ball. Robinson and Weaver are contended that he was hit by the pitch ball, and they're asking him to ask the advice of Lee Wire at first base.
Well, yesterday didn't back Earl Weaver off any. Weaver wants to keep his man in the game.
Weaver and Robinson back up now. For a word with Lou DeMuro. So now the Oriole manager goes back to the dugout.
Parting little blast.
He's not through yet. You may recall that there was a similar incident yesterday with Ed Charles of the Mets at bat when Gil Hodges came out to discuss the matter with umpire Shag Crawford at the time. Robinson has gone back into the dugout. George Bamberger, the pitching coach, is there with Weaver. Now umpire Lou DeMuro is coming over to the dugout. That runway goes back to the locker room, and apparently Robinson went back there for some treatment.
I think the umpire is asking, where's Robinson?
I think it would be a fair question at this time.
He might have gone in and had a quick look by that trainer that he worked on, Lindsay. Here he is.
I think he did. No, that's Buford coming out.
Buford.
That's Buford. I think he did, because that goes right back to the locker room where the trainer would be, and I think he did. So play is held up here in the World Series. And the Met fans, of course, are getting into the act, because as far as Met fans are concerned, baseball is a participating sport.
They worked on him. He's taking his shirt off.
Robinson will be back out here in a moment. We're informed that the trainer said he had a goose egg on his leg. Uniform, Robinson will be back out here with a 2-strike count. There's one man out, nobody on base. The Orioles are batting in the top half of the 6th inning, and they are leading the Mets by a score of 3-0 in this 5th game of the World Series. Two is the count. Guzman's pitch to Frank Robinson. Foul back, and the count holds at 2 strikes. Breaking pitch is high, and it goes to 1-2. Delivery. Breaking pitch in for a call. Strike 3. Strikeout number 4 for Kuzman.
First baseman, John Powell, number 26.
And Boog Powell is coming up. He's flied to left and struck out so far. As Kurt Gowdy has pointed out, Kuzman likes to sidearm Powell. 3-quarter there, and it's low for a ball. Powell is the only left-handed hitter in this ball game, including both sides. Discounting, of course, the switch hitters, Don Buford and Bud Harrelson, who are batting right today. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Breaking pitch low, and it's 2-1. Brooks Robinson. Swing and a miss. It's 2-2. Orioles 3 runs, 4 hits. The Mets no runs, 3 hits. 2-2 delivery. Check swing, pop out into left, and it is on by for a base hit. Boog Powell checked the swing and just popped it out past Harrelson into left.
All he was trying to do was just lay the bat on the ball. Watch it here in slow motion.
Robinson, number 5.
It's going away from him. He really had that rear end out there.
So with a runner at first and 2 men out, it's Brooks Robinson up now. Grounded out short to first and flied to center. Swing and a miss. It's strike 1. That's left field, and Cleon Jones makes the catch. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left. In the middle of the 6th inning, the score is Baltimore 3 and the Mets nothing. Down to the roving Mr. Tony Kubek.
Sitting down here with me, and if I just call him Satsmo, the whole world know who I'm speaking about. Satsmo, how you enjoying the ball game?
It's a beautiful game, young telling you. And I've been enjoying the whole series.
You a Mets fan?
Yeah, we don't know who's going to win it. But still in all, you got to enjoy it. They're both beautiful teams.
You're a beautiful man. Louis Satsmo, Armstrong, thank you.
Thank you, man.
Let's go on back upstairs.
That young man appears to be a Met fan. He's got on all the sides. Cleon Jones is up now. Bottom half of the 6th inning. Cleon has gone 0 for 2, flied to right and popped out to first base. The Mets have had only 3 hits off of Dave McNally, who's been thoroughly in command. Leon skipping to get out of the way, and it's ball one. He starts down to first base, and DeMuro calls him back. So Cleon thought he was hit by the pitch ball, and now comes Yogi Berra down from the coaching lines at first about halfway. And Gil Hodges carrying the baseball is coming over now. Hodges showing the baseball to DeMuro. Hodges, we might have a shoe polish play here. Remember the Nippy Jones shoe polish play in the 1957 World Series at Milwaukee? Hodges showing it to Lou DeMuro, who awards first base. Another shoe polish play here at Shea Stadium. And here comes Earl Weaver. You could bet on that.
You see two complete different approaches here from the managers. Weaver is more the fiery type when he comes out. Hodges just seems to be almost unemotional when he is even trying to make a point with an umpire.
Weaver still has a few words to say on the subject, as he wants to see the baseball. He said, let me see it. Let me see the shoe polish. It was Augie Donatelli, I believe, who called the shoe polish play in the '57 World Series with Nippy Jones of the Milwaukee Braves at the plate. And after he saw the shoe polish, he awarded him first base. So with nobody out, the Mets have a base runner, and Don Clendenon is up, and the Met fans have come alive here. That's fouled off, and it's strike one. Ron Swoboda is on deck.
When Robinson went into evidently his clubhouse, McNally had a long wait in that dugout.
Did have a long wait. This will be a strike one delivery. That's high and away, and it's 1-1. So Echebarren goes out now just to have a word with McNally, who started a little shakily as far as control was concerned today, then settled down and became extremely sharp. Mets have had only 3 hits. The Orioles are leading in the game by a score of 3-0. This will be a 1-1 delivery to Don Clendenon. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Clendenon came to the Mets this year from the Montreal Expos. Spent most of his career with the Pittsburgh Pirates. 1-2 delivery. Outside, so it's 2-2. With Swoboda there on deck with the weighted donut on the bat. This will be a 2-2 offering. Way back in left field. Buford goes to the wall. It's going, gone for a home run for Clendenon. Clendenon's 3rd home run in this World Series. It is Baltimore 3 and the Mets 2. He hit a 2-2 pitch.
Watch this. This curveball hangs right over the plate for him. Now he hung the curve to him, right over the plate to him.
So Don Clendenon has his 3rd home run of this World Series, and Ron Swoboda's up now with nobody on and nobody out. It's the Baltimore Orioles 3 and the New York Mets 2. Bunts the ball back. Echebarren can't get to it. It's a foul ball out of play and strike one. So Dick Hall, I believe it is, up and throwing. Yes, it is. Hall is up and throwing. He was the losing pitcher in yesterday's ball game. Came in to pitch the 10th. Tug McGraw is throwing in the Met bullpen. Tug McGraw is up and throwing for the Mets. That's low for a ball as the Mets get down lower in their batting order. Swoboda is the number 5 man. Look at the little action. There's McGraw, the left-hander. So the ballpark has come alive now with the hometown team having scored twice. That's in for a call strike. It's 1-2. Wind is blowing out toward left. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Inside low, and it's 2-2 now to Ron Swoboda. Ed Charles is next in the order. The Mets are batting in the bottom half of the 6th inning at Shea Stadium in New York. Dave McNally's 2-2 pitch to Ron Swoboda. And it is looped out back of second where it's taken by Dave Johnson, who had good position. They were playing Swoboda to pull, and he was practically behind the bag at second to take the soft line drive. Watch Joe Garagiola each morning on the Today Show as he brings you highlights of the World Series and talks with the stars of each game. That's a great way to start the day, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. With one man out and nobody on, Ed Charles is up. Breaking pitch is low, bounds off the glove of Echevarren, and it's ball 1. Charles is grounded out third to first, and he's fouled out to the catcher. Jerry Grody's on deck. Foul back. It's 1-1 now to Ed Charles. The night before the New York Mets clinched the National League pennant to get into the World Series, I was talking to Ed Charles, and he was saying with some emotion, I have waited 18 years and I'll never get another chance. This was what he wanted to do, get into a World Series in his 18th year of professional baseball. High and away. It's 2-1. McNally's 2-1 pitch. Now it on the ground. Brooks Robinson with the big hop. Guns to Boog Powell, and Charles is out. 2 away, and Jerry Grody will be the batter. Grody has slid to center and grounded into a force play so far. It was Grody's fly ball to left, misjudged by Buford, which became a double and the winning run in the 10th inning yesterday. Here's a ground ball to short. A big hop up to Belanger, across to Boog Powell, and the side is out. So it's 2 runs on 1 hit. No errors and none left. At the end of 6 full innings of play, the score is the Orioles 3 and the Mets 2. This Saturday night, Andy Williams plays host to Don Knotts, Ray Charles, Cass Elliott, the Osmond Brothers, and the Creedence Clearwater Revival. Join the fun. It's the Andy Williams Show, Saturday at 7:30, 6:30 Central Time, on most of these NBC stations. Dave Johnson's up. He's 1 for 2. Guzman's pitches in. Fastball for a call, strike 1. Echevarren's on deck. The Orioles are batting in the 7th inning, leading the Mets by a score of 3-2. Fly ball down the right field line. Swoboda coming fast to the line. Foul territory. He makes the catch. A foul ball.
Catcher.
One man out, and Andy Etchebarren coming up now. He's grounded into a force play and grounded out second to first. The outfield defense shades him to go to the opposite field. Mark Belanger's on deck. Fouled off the end of the bat. Strike one. Swung himself out from underneath the helmet. There you can see Agee out in center, shaded over toward right. And right fielder Swoboda moved toward the line against the right-hand batter. The only concession that manager Earl Weaver makes to platooning is that of Etchebarren and Elrod Hendricks. Foul off and back into the seats out of play, and the count goes to 2 strikes to Andy Etchebarren. He bats number 7 in Earl Weaver's Baltimore batting order. The Birds want to win this one and take the World Series back to Baltimore, where they'd need only a winning streak of 2 games in their home park to clinch the World's Championship. Swing and a miss. Kuzman gets his 5th strikeout of the day. 2 men out, nobody on base, and Mark Belanger's coming up. Singleton later scored in the 3rd inning. He was on base when McNally hit his homer, and Belanger flied out to right in the 5th inning.
Kuzman now has retired 12 of the last 13.
Swing and a miss. It's strike one. The Mets also expect Belanger to take that ball to the opposite field. That's zipped in a little low, and it's 1-1. Orioles got all 3 runs in the 3rd inning. That's McNally on deck. He hit a 2-run homer, and then with 2 men out, Frank Robinson hit a home run. Foul back and out of play. 1-2 is the count. The Orioles 3 runs, 5 hits. That's Tom Seaver come out of the Met dugout there to take a look around. The Mets keep Tug McGraw throwing down in their bullpen. Here's a 1-2 pitch, and it's hit on the ground to short. Big hop up to Bud Harrelson. Guns across to Clendenon, and Belanger's out. The sides retire. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. And in the middle of the 7th inning, the score is Baltimore 3 and the Mets 2. Down to Tony Kubek.
With me, the famous band leader and pianist, Peter Duchin. Peter, how you enjoying the series?
Oh, it's just fantastic. I just hope we can get one more run, and quick. I'd rather not have to sweat it.
You are a Mets fan, then.
I sure am, absolutely.
Peter Duchin, thank you so much. Right
Thank
now,
you, Tony.
let's go back upstairs.
All right, it's Al Weiss leading off for the Mets. Kuzman bats second in the order here in this inning, and McGraw is throwing in the bullpen. The pitch to Weiss is in for a called strike. Weiss has lined out to short and grounded out short to first so far today. Facing Dave McNally. That's a fly ball to deep left, and Buford breaks back now, and it's going, and it is gone for a home run for Al Weiss. And the score is tied at 3-3. Become the hitting star of the World Series for the New York Mets. That is his 5th hit in this World Series. that ball, you'd have to guess that it got a little help from the wind once it got up there. And now Koosman will bat for himself. That base hit keeps Koosman in the ball game. So the score is tied, 3-3. Koosman comes up with nobody on and nobody out. And the Met fans are happy. Swing and a miss. It's strike one. That is Dick Hall up and throwing. Dick Hall throwing in the bullpen. Goes for a ball. It's 1-1.
You know, Lindsey, Weiss hit only 2 home runs all year. Came on successive days in July. And now one in the World Series.
Swing and a miss. And as we noted before, in his major league career, Weiss had hit only 6, but one of those 6 had been off Dave McNally. And it was his base hit off McNally Sunday that won the ball game for the New York Mets. McNally strikes out Koosman for his 6th strikeout of the day. That brings up Tommy Agee. Agee today walked, stole second base in the first inning, flied to center, and bunted his way on in the 5th when Brooks Robinson tried the bare hand play with 2 men out. It did not come off, and Agee was credited with a base hit. The chant is Agee. Alley pitches in for a called strike. Mets are batting in the bottom half of the 7th inning, and the score is tied at 3-3. It's strike 2. While the Orioles want to take this series back to Baltimore, the Mets, of course, want to end it right here today with the Mets as champions of the world. That's Harrelson on deck. Nancy Seaver. 2-strike delivery way outside. It's 1-2. Agee's followed in the order by Bud Harrelson. There's nobody on base. There's 1 man out. Agee, formerly of Grambling College. Ground ball foul back at third. 1-2. Earl Weaver, manager of the Orioles. Louis Kuhn, commissioner of baseball, Joe DiMaggio. One-two pitch. Foul back. It's out of play, and the count holds at 1-2. A crowd of more than 57,000 fans here again today at Shea Stadium. McNally's 1-2 pitch. Foul off, out of play. The lower field boxes. The count continues at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Outside, and the count goes to 2-2. Fouled it off. He stays alive at 2-2. So now, with nobody on base and 1 man out, it'll be a payoff pitch to Tommy Agee from McNally, who has struck out 6 and walked 2. 3-2 delivery. It is popped up to the right side, and Frank Robinson drifts over, puts it away. There are 2 men out. Bud Harrelson is coming up for the Mets. He has struck out, and flied to center.
Number 3.
That's low for a ball. It's 1-0 now to Harrelson. Leon Jones having to swing on deck. Oh, McNally goes behind 2-0. He was posted to a 3-run lead, and he has seen the Mets come back to get 2 in the 6th and 1 in the 7th, so it's all even at 3 runs each. Delivery. Low, and he goes behind 3-0 now to Harrelson. Eddie Yost is the sign man at third. Eddie Yost, who played in Washington for many years, but was born in Brooklyn and has a master's degree from NYU, lives now on Long Island. 3-0 pitch. He was taking all the way, and it's in for a called strike one. 3-1. Eddie Yost was never with the first place ball club until 1962. A few days with the Los Angeles Angels. Swing and a miss, and it's 3-2. So again, McNally has gone full to the number 2 man in the Met batting order. Here's the payoff pitch, and it is slammed to Robinson, who makes the catch of the line drive for the out at third base. He was guarding the line. The side is retired. 1 run on 1 hit. No errors and none left. At the end of 7 full innings of play, the score is the Mets 3 and Baltimore 3.
Their weakest defensive player.
We pause now for station identification.
Kurt Moulton, Lindsay. Kurt Moulton.
Yeah, right, Kurt Moulton.
Your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, for Baltimore, batting for McNally, number 21, Kurt Moulton, number 21.
And now Kurt Moulton is up to bat for McNally. Sends a ground ball to deep short, taken by Harrelson. Throws to first, and Kurt Moulton is out on the first pitch of the 8th inning. That's Eddie Watts throwing in the bullpen. Eddie Watts throwing in the bullpen. 1 man out, nobody on base. McNally is out of the ballgame now for that pinch hitter, having hurled 7 innings in which he gave up 3 runs on 5 hits. He struck out 6 and he walked 2. Now it's Don Buford up, top of the batting order. He's grounded out, and flied out to right on a long running catch by Ron Swoboda. That's high and away for a ball. Paul Blair is on deck for the Orioles. Score tied 3-3. The hits are all even at 5 each. Fly ball to center field, and A.G. ranges back now, pounds the glove, and he makes the catch. As we noted once before, A.G. has so many of the mannerisms of Willie Mays. It's not by accident. They're both from the state of Alabama, but strangely enough, They never met until A.G. came over from the American League to the Mets last year, and they played the San Francisco Giants on opening day. And it's the first time that A.G. ever met Mays. Paul Blair's up. By the center, struck out swinging, lined out to center field. Low breaking pitch. Took a lot off that one. Low out of the strike zone. It's ball one. Frank Robinson's on deck. That is a long foul ball down to the left field corner off the facade of the mezzanine deck, which is over the press deck, right up there. Off that facade, right there. The thin deck is the press deck. Logies below and the mezzanine above. 1-1 to count to Blair. It's high. 2-1. Paul Blair was the property of the New York Mets in 1962 in the Instructional League. He and Cleon Jones were roommates. 2-1 pitch. High and away. So now Guzman goes behind. 3-1 to Blair with Frank Robinson on deck. You can see Ed Charles there guarding the line, trying to protect against the extra base hit right here. 3-1 delivered. And it's deep short. It'll be a long throw for Harrelson, and in time. What a play by Harrelson, and the side is out in order. It's no runs, no hits, no errors, and none left. And in the middle of the 8th inning, the score is the Mets 3 and the Orioles 3. Lou? This is Lindsay. What do you think? You want me to stay here, go down, or what do I do? All right. You let me know, huh? Right. Down to Tony Kubek.
Thank you, Lindsay. With me, one of our country's great statesmen, a man who has devoted his life serving our country, Mr. Averill Harriman, and quite a baseball fan also. How are you enjoying the series, sir?
Well, very much. I think that last play by Harrelson looked like...
Down to Tony Kubek.
Thank you, Lindsay. With me, one of our country's great statesmen, a man who has devoted his life serving our country, Mr. Averill Harriman, and quite a baseball fan also. How are you enjoying the series, sir?
Well, very much. I think that last play by Harrelson looked like one of those plays you used to make all the time.
You are a great Yankee fan. You remember my playing days.
Sure I was. When you were playing your best, the Yankees were a great team.
What about the defensive play in this ballgame? That's been one great defensive play, but gee, Swoboda the other day, and of course A.G., they've just been fantastic.
They are fantastic. I think that A.G. dive looked like one of the best catches I've ever seen. I heard that Hodges said it was the best catch that he'd seen in the all-series matches. I don't know whether that's the World Series matches. I don't know if that's true or not. It's the best I ever saw.
Mr. Averill Harriman, nice seeing you here at the World Series. Thank you so much, sir.
Well, let's hope it's 3-all, and we're all rooting for that final run for the Mets.
Mr. Averill Harriman, thank you so much. Now let's go on upstairs.
All right, Tony Kubek. It's Eddie Watt in to do the pitching now for the Orioles. He pitched 2 scoreless innings yesterday, in which he allowed only 2 hits. 1-5, lost 2 during the regular season with an earned run average of 1.65. And Eddie Watt was credited with 16 saves during the regular season. He led the Orioles in games. He was in 56. Cleon Jones will lead off for the Mets coming up here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. So the Mets will make a bid to go ahead in the bottom half of the 8th with Cleon Jones, Don Clendenon, and Ron Swoboda, the heart of the batting order, scheduled up here. The Orioles have gone now to a right-hander so that Gil Hodges will have some of his left-hand batters loosening up a little bit in the dugout. He has the platoon left-hand batters available. Low and away for a ball.
Weaver must have decided McNally was tiring. He gave up a 2-run homer in the 6th, a homer in the 7th, and Harrelson, the last man up in the 7th, lined out hard.
1-0 pitch, and it's low for a ball. We don't have a count, but McNally had thrown a lot of pitches from the time he had been in the ball game, as he went 3-2 on 3 batters in the very first inning of the ball game. Now Eddie Watt has gone behind to Cleon Jones, 2-0, with Don Clendenon waiting on deck. That's 3-0 now to Cleon Jones, and the Mets want a base runner. The Mets fans want a base runner. Dave Leonard's up and throwing again in the bullpen now for the Orioles. The right-hander Dave Leonard. 3-0 pitch. He was taking all the way, and it's in for a called strike. 3-1. That's Leonard now up and throwing. Score is tied 3-3. Mets are batting in the bottom of the 8th. 3-1 delivery to Jones. Swung on, hit in the air to center field, and Blair's going back. It's going, and it is off the wall in play. And Jones is standing up at second with a double.
Clendenon, who's coming up now, has a chance to tie a World Series record. He's hit 3 homers in this series. The record is 4, held by Lou Gehrig, who did it in a 4-game series, Babe Ruth, Duke Snider twice, and Hank Bauer, who hit 4 homers in a 7-game series. Clendenon's hit 3 here in this, the 5th game so far.
So Clendenon, who has walked, struck out, and homered, is up there now. That double of Jones hit about halfway up the wall, just to the center field side of the 396 sign. Eddie Watt, the ball is bunted foul. Gil Hodges putting on the bunt sign. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network. This is Lindsey Nelson with Kurt Gowdy and Tony Kubek at Shea Stadium in New York. Clendenon given a little direct communication by third base coach Eddie Yost now. Tried to bunt the first pitch and fouled it off with strike 1. Trying to move the potential winning run from second over to third. There is nobody out. Swoboda is waiting on deck. Squares again. Bunts the ball foul back into the seats and out of play. So twice they've tried to move the runner over, and twice it's been fouled off.
You know, Lindsey, Blair really played that carom off the wall perfectly. He got a bad carom there angling away from him. Jones might have had a triple.
He did. He played it just as perfectly as it could have been as he turned and didn't charge it so that it could come off the wall past him. He waited for it. Now the count has gone to 2 strikes to Clendenon. Struck him out. Fouled it off. He's still alive. Bunt was taken off. He was swinging away and just got a little of the bat on the ball to stay alive with a 2-strike count. It was a 2-2 pitch that he hit for the home run in the bottom half of the 6th inning that provided the Mets with their first 2 runs of the ball game. This will be a 2-strike delivery. Jones back to second and Clendenon back to the plate. The count holds at 2 strikes. That had the fans up on their feet all around the ballpark, right down the right field line, sliced foul. So Eddie Watt takes a little breather, rubbing up the new ball. The Orioles 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors. The Mets 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors. Strike pitch. Hit on the ground. ground to third. Brooks Robinson up and throwing, and in time, no advance. Jones holds at second. So there's one away, and Ron Swoboda is coming up.
The ball took a tricky little hop just before Robinson went to field it.
Pete Rickard and Dick Hall are throwing in the bullpen now for the Orioles. Rickard, a left-hander. Hall, a right-hander. Swoboda is 1 for 3 today. That's Hall over near the wall. Rickard, the left-hander. Swoboda has had 5 hits in this World Series. Nobody has had more. Breaking pitch missed outside, and it's ball 1. Leon Jones at second base with 1 man out. Breaking pitch is hit in the air down the left field line. Buford is racing over, and he can't get it. He short-hopped it. Jones is coming home. There'll be no play at the plate. He scores, and Swoboda goes to second on the throw. The Mets are leading by a score of 4-3. Ron Swoboda. Don Buford.
Buford gives us a real try, but can't get to it. Traps it, and desperately throws the ball in on the throw to the plate. Here's the swing by Ron Swoboda, who comes up with his second hit of the game. Right in there to him. But the Mets have scored 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, and now have gone ahead with 1 in the 8th.
Now it's Ed Charles coming up. Chopper that's in foul territory, and it's ball 1. Ron Swoboda at second base. Count of strike 1 to Ed Charles, with the Mets leading by a score of 4-3 in the bottom half of the 8th inning. It's high and tight. We'll check the official scoring on Swoboda's hit. Hammett foul on the ground. We'll check to see whether it is a single and a run batted in, or whether it is a double and a run batted in, with his question of whether or not he took second on the throw. 1-2 the count now to Ed Charles. Scored as a double and a run batted in for Ron Swoboda. His second hit of the ball game. This will be a 1-2 pitch now to Charles. Breaks low, and it's even at 2-2. Charles is followed in the batting order by Jerry Grody. Be a 2-2 pitch, and it's hit in the air to left field, and Don Buford moves up now. He's underneath. Buford makes the catch, and Swoboda holds. There are 2 men out. Jerry Grody will be the Met batter. The Mets are leading by 1 run in the bottom of the 8th. If you'd like to look ahead to the top half of the 9th inning, the Orioles will be sending up the heart of the power of their batting order. Frank Robinson, Boog Powell, and Brooks Robinson coming up for the Orioles in the 9th inning, so don't go away. Grody flied to center, grounded into a force play, and grounded out short to first. Breaking pitch is high, and it's ball 1. It's 1-1 to Grody with 2 men out and a runner at second. Ron Swoboda, who delivered a double to drive in the go-ahead run. Jerry Grody, Gil Hodges, alongside pitching coach Rube Walker. Watt has walked off to the grass of the infield there so that he can work on the baseball a little bit and go to his mouth without penalty. The Mets 4 runs, 7 hits. The Orioles 3 runs, 5 hits. Game number 5 of the 1969 World Series at Shea Stadium in New York. This is a 1-1 pitch. And it is hit to first base off the glove of Boog Powell. And now he is safe. And here comes Swoboda to the plate. He scores. Eddie Watt coming over to cover was behind the runner. And Powell tried to toss it to him. He's safe at first. A run batted in and the Mets lead by a score of 5-3. Earl Weaver with George Bamberger, his pitching coach.
This ball really hit like a rocket down the first baseline. Powell couldn't find the handle, wanted to scramble to the bag himself, saw he couldn't make it. Watts late coming off the mound, and the Mets now have a 2-run lead.
Swoboda, you saw crossing the plate. Back to live action. Al Weiss is up now. There's an error charged on the pitcher. Here's a swing and a foul ball back and out of play, and it's strike 1. On the scoreboard, the sign was flashed that the error was charged on the pitcher. We'll check that. It's an error first base and an error pitcher. Error on Boog Powell for allowing the runner to reach first, and an error on the pitcher for allowing the run to score. 2 errors charged on the play. 1 on Powell, 1 on Watt. And the Mets are leading by a score of 5-3. Foul back and out of play. 2-strike count. Al Weiss up there, the mighty Mite, has 5 hits in the World Series, including a home run today that tied the score. Who would ever have thought that Al Weiss would be the hitting star for the New York Mets? One of the great glove men, made a great contribution all year long. Two-strike delivery. Breaking pitch in there for a called strike to strike him out. Second one for Watt. The side is retired. So the New York Mets picked up 2 runs on 2 hits. There were 2 errors and 1 man left. And at the end of 8 full innings of play, the score is the New York Mets 5 and the Baltimore Orioles 3.
This is Kurt Gowdy. Lindsey Nelson is headed to the New York Met dressing room. In case this series is over today, we'll have the celebration in the Met dressing room. Earl Weaver and Hodges now looking on for the 9th. It's Frank Robinson, Boog Powell, and Brooks Robinson, the middle of the Oriole batting order. Jerry Koosman, since he gave up 3 runs in the 3rd, has shut out the Orioles, has retired 16 of the last 17 batters, and has set down 7 in a row. Robinson has flied to right, homered in the 3rd, struck out in the 6th. Ball 1 and a curve. 5 runs, 7 hits for the Mets. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Orioles. Boog Powell on deck. If the Mets Mets do hold on to this lead. It'd be hard to pick out their hero. They've had so many of them. One of them right there, Don Clendenin, Tommy Agee, Ron Swoboda, Al Weiss, their pitchers. McGraw and Taylor, McGraw left-hander, Taylor a right-hander, are in the Met bullpen in case Koosman weakened. Powell getting ready to come up next. Fastball for a strike. The Mets, who lost 89 games last year, finished 9th, are 3 outs away now being the world champion. That's the Met bullpen. Ball 3-1 to Frank Robinson. He walked him. And the Orioles now have the tying run of the plate. That is the first walk given up by Jerry Koosman in the game. Powell is fly to left, struck out, single to left. Brooks Robinson on deck. 5-3, Mets leading top of the 9th. Strike one. The Mets have had an almost incredible surge. They won 38 of their last 49 games in the regular season. Defeated the Braves 3 in a row in the National League Championship Series. Brooks Robinson on deck. And after losing the opener to Baltimore, have come back to win 3 in a row here. One and one. And here at Shea Stadium, they have won 28 of their last 33 games they played. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ball 2 to Boot Powell. 2-1. Frank Robinson at first, nobody out. Bounding ball to second. The throw is for 1. Robinson going in hard, trying to take Harrelson out. They're booing him, but that's the way he should run the bases. Powell on first, 1 down. Brooks Robinson is grounded to short, flying to center, flying to left. We're going to have a runner for Boot Powell.
Your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen from Baltimore, at first base, running from Powell.
Chico Simone.
30, Chico.
So it's Simone on first now, 1 out here in the 9th. A strike to Robinson. Powell's had the only hit. There's Dave Johnson on deck. Powell's had the only hit off Koosman since the 3rd. Strike 2. 0-2. If there's one word that can describe this Met team, it's inspired. No balls, 2 strikes. Curve is hit in the air in the shallow right. Ron Swoboda waiting. 2 down. And if they get one more out here, you're going to see one of the doggone sights you've ever seen in sports here in this stadium and in this Met dressing room. So it's up to Dave Johnson now to save the Orioles. He's had 1 hit in 3 times. A ball to him. Orioles led 3-0 going to the 6th. That's a Barron on deck. Mets scored twice in the 6th, once in the 7th, and 2 in the 8th. A strike, 1-1. The Met fans now, over 57,000, roaring in every pitch. Gary Koosman of Morse, Minnesota. Outside with his breaking pitch, 2-1. Beat the Orioles Sunday 2-1. Leading right now 5-3 with 2 down. Simone on first. The 2-1 pitch. There's a fly ball hit out to left. Waiting is Jones. The Mets are the world champions. Gary Koosman being mobbed. Look at this scene. Ballpark apart when the Mets clinched their division pennant against the Cardinals. Here's the Met locker room. The Mets had 5 runs, 7 hits, no errors. The Orioles 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors. Sport Magazine has declared Don Clendenon as the outstanding player of the series. And he wins himself a new Dodge. And it was a come-from-behind victory for the Mets today. They were trailing 3-0. Stay tuned now for a recap, the celebration of the new world champions of baseball, the New York Mets. The final score, New York, 5 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. Baltimore, 3 runs, 5 hits, and 2 errors.
Can you get Gil? Harold?
Yeah.
Harold, can you get Gil? Gil! Hey, Gil! Gil! Hey, come on, John. Gil!
Can't hear you, Lou. Okay. The bedlam continues on the field here at Shea Stadium, and there's also bedlam in the Met clubhouse, and let's switch down now to Lindsey Nelson.
All right, and here in the clubhouse, it's bedlam, too, as Mrs. Joan Payson, the principal owner of the New York Mets, is here. Congratulations.
This is yours, Gil, isn't it?
And the commissioner of baseball, Mr. Bowie Cohen, is here.
Lindsey, this is my most proud moment as commissioner. This is my opportunity to present to Mrs. Payson and to Gil Hodges, who are the 2 most responsible people for this team of destiny, for its accomplishment as world champion. I cannot tell you how proud I am of you, Mrs. Payson, Gil, of you, of your ball players. Every one of them made a contribution to this, every last one of them. And they can be proud of this because in beating the Baltimore Orioles, they beat the best darn ball club around they could beat. And I'm very proud of them. This then goes to the Mets.
Bowie Cohen committing the commission now presenting this trophy to Johnny Murphy, the general manager, to Mrs. Payson, and to Gil Hodges. Step up here, Gil. We want to get a good look at you. It's a long step down, isn't it?
beautiful, beautiful. And,
what do you have to say about this?
Well, first of all, I would just thank the commissioner for this beautiful trophy, and certainly thank my immediate boss, Mr. John Murphy, and just all the New York Mets, Mrs. Payson, Mr. Grant, and all the directors, and certainly all the wonderful players that we had this year. They've done such an outstanding job, and we must not forget all the beautiful fans that we had in Shea Stadium all year long. It's just been a great year, and thank God it's over now.
It is indeed. John Murphy, the general manager.
Well, Lindsay, this is the happiest day of my life. I think Gil did a great job for us.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you very much for presenting the trophy, and I think we'd better remove this to a safer place with a little help, because we're going to have a few things going up here. Here is, just behind you, Commissioner, is Don Grant, the chairman of the board of the Mets.
Thank you very much. Thank our fans. We've been very lucky, and we thank the man up above.
Don, what is that dripping off of you, Don?
That's a little champagne. I get it in my ear, but never in my mouth.
And the president of the National League, Mr. Warren Giles, who will be retiring after this season. Warren, you picked a great season to go out on.
This is the greatest thing that's happened to baseball, the greatest thing that's happened to the National League, and the greatest thing that's happened to me.
Wonderful.
Last year.
Wonderful. And you sound like you really believe it. And here's Mrs. Gil Hodges. Hello, Joan. She was here. He was here.
See, oh, I just can't believe it. It's been a year of miracles, and it's marvelous. Really, really
It
marvelous.
is indeed. And Herb Walker, the executive vice president.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable, Nelson.
And now we're going to try to get some of the Mets up here. Here we are, Jerry Kuzman right behind me.
Great, Jerry. Just terrific.
Jerry, tell me first about that double that you ripped out there early in the ball.
Oh, you really hit, Kuzi. I always told him I was a hitter, Lindsay. I always told him.
You've been saying that, and Jerry Grody right there.
Yes, sir. He can do it all, Lindsay. He can do it all.
And right here behind us.
Yes, sir.
Is Miss. Well, I'll tell you. I was going to say happy birthday to Mr. Payson. Let's get Don Clendenin up here. Don, what did you hit on the 2-2 pitch?
I think it was a slider. I'm not sure. Slider curveball.
Didn't really care, did you?
No, I didn't really care.
Don, you had a great World Series.
Thank you very much. I would like to have done better. But like I told everybody from the very inception that we're a great ball club. We proved it. Baltimore was overconfident, but we proved that we're a great ball club.
I think Mr. Payson has something to say to you.
I have this.
Thank you, sir.
I have this to say to the whole team. Today happens to be my birthday, and who could have a better birthday present than these boys gave me today?
Quite a present. It is indeed. Don, when you came down from Montreal, people were wondering how long you were going to continue to play baseball. What do you say now? The season's over.
Well, I have a 2-year contract. I will honor my contractual obligations, and I will play as long as I think New York can need my services, as long as I can do an adequate Major League job.
Certainly, we'll be looking forward to seeing you next season when we start all over. Don Clendenin. Let's get Tom Seaver over here. Tommy, gotta be a big thrill.
Oh, the biggest ever. I tell you that you believe in this. Look at one of my Bobos right here.
It's Cleon Jones.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Just ripped that one pretty good there off the wall out in left center.
Well, Lindsay, this is the same ball club that been blown on the same field with the Baltimore Orioles, but we beat them. We showed them what we had, what type of ball club we had been all year. And we're number one.
They thought they're going to run us right out the field, and we come to play. This is a club that played this way all year long. We came from behind. We did it today, and you can't say too much for this.
Now tell me, I want to ask both of you. Tell me sincerely, because I want to ask you this question. You're down 3 runs. What kind of feeling did you have at that time about your prospects of winning the ball game?
We built it up all year long. It's been like that, Lindsay. No matter what happened, no matter where we were down 6-0 in Pittsburgh, came back and won that ball game because we never put our heads between our legs, and we always fought, and it's the greatest feeling in the world.
Well, Lindsay, we're the type of ball club that scored late all during the year. We never give up. This is why we're here. We get behind 3 or 4 runs in the latter part of the ball game. We come back.
Congratulations to both of you. You both had a great year. We'll be back here in a moment. Again, the final score was the Mets 5, the Orioles 3. In a moment, we'll continue to review the events of today's game.
We want a picture right here. What do you want? They got a picture right here.
Yes, sir. We'll be back here in just a minute. Come on up. Come on up. Come on up. That boy. We'll be back in just a minute.
I'll give you the ball.
We'll be back in.
Run, Josie. Run.
Keep it going.
Number one.
Atta boy. We'll be back here in just a minute. Stay right here.
No, I don't.
Stay right here. Stay right here. I want to talk to you.
Bunch of bitches, man.
Be back here in about a half a minute. Stay right where you are. Atta boy. Got the mayor. Good. We're in commercial right now. We're in commercial right now.
We're number one. Thank you.
Huh?
I'll give him a kiss. Beautiful. You know what, Tommy? You smell like a horse.
We're in the clubhouse of the world champion New York Mets, and it has a certain ring to it. We have Tommy Agee here, Ron Swoboda, Cleon Jones, and the mayor of the city of New York is about to make an entry here. Mayor Lindsay's coming up. What do you have to say to the Mets, Mayor?
Oh, God, it's going to be the biggest celebration New York ever saw. We're proud of you. What a lovely team.
What did the New York Mets in this summer mean to the city of New York?
Gave us the biggest lift that we've had in 1,000 years. Beautiful job.
Tell them you're going to give them a day Monday.
It's going to be a big day on Monday. Big celebration in the whole city. Biggest you ever saw. It's going to be tremendous.
The mayor of New York saying that Monday's going to be sort of a Met day here in New York. So get all ready for it. Did you enjoy the ball game?
It's the best game I ever saw in my life. Never been happier.
Marvelous. Mayor Lindsay of the city of New York. Tommy, you had a marvelous year and a marvelous World Series.
Thank you very much, Lindsay. We were kind of up for the series. We knew we could beat Baltimore. And when they were talking so much, it gave us that much incentive to win. They were talking so much, they forgot to play.
Right. Ron Swoboda was the last base hit, the biggest one you ever got in your life.
Well, we've come so far so fast. I think nothing can really be said. You know it, Lindsay. You know it because it brought us here. It was only one of the things. There were so many things.
Ron, you got the magic glove back. You got it all back.
He can pick it.
With me.
He can pick it.
Can he pick it?
There's my buddy.
There he is, Rod Gasper, with a little something for the mayor here, and he's got to return the favor. It's fair enough. Come on, Ed Charles. Ed Charles, come up here. Let's get the glider up here. Ed, you've been in professional baseball.
Somebody threw in some cheap
We're number one, Lindsay. It's a wonderful feeling. Wonderful feeling.
And you were saying back in August when October rolls around.
When October rolls around, the Mets will wear the crown. East side, west side. How about that, huh?
Lindsay, what I say? I said we won 4 straight, didn't I?
That's what
Four straight, and we did it.
Well, you won 4 straight after you lost that first one. That's true. Buddy Harrelson over here. Bud, you had a great World Series and a great season.
Thank you very much. I think it was a team effort today, as it has been all year. Once or twice, one individual would stand out, but overall, I think today was an example of our game, of a team effort and fighting back, never quitting on the bench, and just a great year, a great team, and I'm glad to be here.
Are you staying in New York now for the winter?
Yes, I live here in New York, and I'm looking forward to this World Series rubbing off financially.
Right. But here we are, Al Weiss, the mighty might who suddenly found all the power in the world.
What is he? I just trying to hit a single that time. Leadoff hit. I just trying to hit a single and it just went out.
Well, how is it now? You hit a home run off McNally once some years ago.
Yeah, I got him in my book twice now, and this is the biggest one.
Had to be a great thrill.
Oh, I can't explain what was happening to me going around the bases. I just was so overjoyed I couldn't laugh. I couldn't keep a straight face. You know, I don't know what I did. You know.
A lot of things were happening to a lot of people about that time.
Oh, it's really great. You know, the whole team is just a great team effort, and it's been a wonderful year.
All right, we're here in the dressing room, and we'll be back with more about the 1960s.